refreshed, renewed, a little brighter around the edges. It's good to see you. And welcome to our online community. We just meditated, and I hope you did too. So today we anxiously await. No. We anxiously embrace who we are, because we are the ones that we have been waiting for. I want you to affirm with me. I'll say it once and then you say it after. Okay, ready? I am the one I've been waiting for. Together?
I am the one I've been waiting for.
I'm not convinced. Let's do it again. With gusto. Ready? I am the one I've been waiting for. Oh, yes, much better. Should we do it a third time? Because it just feels so good. Alrighty then, ready? I am the one I've been waiting for. Yes, indeed, we are waiting. We are waiting for all of you and all of those beyond these doors to rise up into the truth of who you are. Your soul has a divine appointment at this time in history to make a difference, to be who you have come here to be, to expand beyond the edges of who, see, even the microphone knows that we're supposed to be expanding beyond the edges. Who we are, who we have come here to be, must be greater than what we have been in the past. Is it me or is it the, all right, they'll figure it out because they are wise souls in the back AV booth. So within you, you have all the energy, all the wisdom, all the knowledge, all the love that you will ever have in this lifetime. So, my question is, are you tapped into the energy? I know you can hear it right now, can't you? But are you tapped into it at the core of your being, at the root of who you are, with your love, your light, your peace, your joy? Are you showing up in a way in your daily life that is unmistakable? That is why we are here. That is why we have come to this place today. Not just Unity Spiritual Center, but the planet in general. So we are both human and spiritual. You have heard me say that many times. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are spiritual beings in a spiritual universe governed by spiritual law. We know that intellectually as our truth, and yet what we see is the human. Spirit is trying to make a point here. You do know that, right? I just didn't want to be the only one talking. What we see is truly our human selves. The majority of the time we are distracted by the human. And so we must release the human ego. You see how good it feels to just release the human ego? All the static just goes away. It's miraculous. Thanks, guys. So when we release the ego and we focus on our spiritual self, the one we typically tend to hide from. Have you noticed? You try to hide from your spiritual self, but oops, there it is again. And then you've got someone like me pointing it out to you every possible opportunity. So instead of the human that we see in the mirror image, something a little bit more appropriate would be this. The yin and the yang represents an equal and balanced measure of positive and negative, of spirit and human. It is a perfect blend of both worlds. We like perfect blends. We call for that in our tea, and our coffee, and our wine, and probably a few other things. However, to be the perfect blend of human and spiritual as we go through the journey of life is our goal. You in each of these chairs are the way that Spirit shows up in the world. When Spirit shows up as love or not, and when Spirit shows up as truth or not, we are the ones who are channeling that loving energy or not so loving energy, that truthful energy or not so truthful energy. We are the container for Spirit. And intellectually, we know about all of that. We know that we can be, that was my talk last week, be love and light and peace and joy in the world. And yet, there are times when we're not. So when we can get ourselves centered in the awareness of the divine within us, deep within us, and our awareness, even the human part of us can rest in that presence of the divine. And then a miraculous thing happens. We become a non-anxious presence. Have you ever been in a place where there could be a lot of turmoil, and then there's just one person who seems calm? They're not tapped into their ego self in that moment. They are being the presence of God in that situation, and they are being calm. Because they know that the greater part of them that can manage all things, especially the chaos, is the calm, pure center. It's not the ego. Ego is edging God out. It's not the ego that stays calm when life is happening. So the key is to stay centered in our connection to Spirit. In our mental awareness of Spirit, we are able to tell our heart, hey, don't worry, the universe has got this. We can be calm. So when we are noticing that level of awareness of ourself, we become the observer of life, the observer of ourselves, the observer of our thoughts, the observer of our emotions, the observer of what's happening. But we don't engage. That's the ego's job. Spirit's job is to flow. Totally different. So in the eye of the storm, and we know about storms, I learned about storms here last year, my first hurricane season. We know the eye of the storm is a calm center. And in the eye of the storm of our emotional upsets, there too is a calm center. That is the place we want to be. We want to be in that centered, calm state and look at the outer awareness of the world and say, you know, God in me has got this. I don't need to be upset. I don't need to worry. I can be peace. I can be light. I can be love. Those are the truthful things of who we are. So the center is the ideal place for our perception to live. And from there, we can alter our experience into one of well-being, when we are calm and centered, at peace and at one, we can manifest incredible things. We can manifest health and wholeness for ourselves. We can draw to us positive experiences, positive people, positive situations, things that will bless us in multiple ways so that we can go and bless others in multiple ways. Our vision statement says, centered in the light of God, we joyfully co-create a harmonious world that works for all. So my question is, I always have a question. As a spiritual community, are we centered in the light of God? Take it a step further. To each of you individually, are you centered in the light of God as you live your daily path? From whatever perception we walk, we make meaning from our experiences. And our observations of the current experience are based on our personal past. There's some laughter going on. For our video audience, I have a slide with this kitty with these round glasses, and it says, if you are over 40, you'll see this kitty as John Lennon. If you are under 40, you will see this kitty as Harry Potter. And so it's all about perception and what is our personal past. Because that is the lens through which we will have our experience, through which we will see the world. It is the lens through which we will draw experiences to us in equal measure. And so if the lens that we look at life is a lens of woundedness, we will draw to us experiences that continue to create woundedness. There's not a human being on the planet that has not been wounded. Not an amen I wanted for that one, though. However, it is part of our human journey to heal whatever woundedness has affected us during this lifetime. And so as we heal the woundedness and come into life and look through the lens of health and wholeness and mental, emotional stability, we are then able to draw to us experiences of health and wholeness, people, places, situations, and experience that are surrounded with mental and emotional stability because we have healed our stuff from the past. But as we make meaning, we must pay attention to what we are continuing to create as we move forward by the lens through which we see the world. Because if we continue to see the world as against us through the lens of woundedness, hatred, oppression, lack, insecurity, we will be continuing to draw to us those experiences. And worse yet, we will blame the outer for bringing it to us. Who's looking through the lens? What happened to the observer? They're observing all this chaos. It's like, oh, time to clean the glasses there, dude. Heal the perception that we look at the world. The other way to perceive this is to look at the outer world as a mirror. Oh, we don't like that one any more than the lens. But it works the same. And at some point you must ask yourself, what am I recreating from my unhealed past? What am I recreating from my unhealed past? Oh, darn, she always asks those questions that make me think. I hate that. Yes. It's Groundhog Day. We laugh about that movie, but it's the same thing. We recreate the experience until we heal the past. And so when we take time in our prayer and meditation and use our spiritual tools to reconnect with the higher self, to realign with the observer, the wise sage, the intuitive voice within that we know to be the divine, we can once again awaken. And so I encourage you to not only look at what you are recreating from your unhealed past, but to recognize that you have the power within you to awaken. Thank you, Michael. Allow the wisdom of the divine observer, the awakened consciousness, to guide you into your next higher and evolved state of being. So once we move into a place of a higher vibration, when we choose to become awake, our innate divinity responds. You can feel it. You can see it. You can taste it. You can touch it. Everything about the outer is brighter and cleaner and clearer and more vibrant. And we feel the difference. When we hold up the mirror to experience, we can then say, oh wow, did I create this? Did I recreate this again? Oh man, I hate that. But we are less likely to use that opportunity for denial as we had done in the past, to blame others as we had done in the past. We are more awake and in alignment and integral to the truth of who we are. And we are able to say to ourselves, yeah, I recreated this, but I'm going to handle it differently so I don't recreate it again. And then be alert and mindful and aware. It is how we use these moments when we recognize that we are repeating our internal unhealthy patterns. It is when we use those times when the mirror is held firmly in front of our face that we can say from our heightened awareness, I don't like what I see. And so I'm going to choose differently. Will you help me choose differently? Will you support as I grow? Because once you start growing, your growing is showing, and then it's all yucky on the outside until you become, the swan. So as we respond to the reflection in the mirror of our thoughts and our words and our behaviors and our intentions, we can see into our own personal level of spiritual maturity. Yes, maturity. And we can step into a greater awareness of spiritual maturity, mental maturity, emotional maturity, physical maturity. That is the natural progression on the path. And for us today who are a part of this greater community, the annual meeting is an opportunity for us to hold up the mirror as a community and to take an honest look at ourselves, our collective attitudes and beliefs. Are we moving forward, or are we sliding backwards when it comes to the statements we know to be our vision, our mission, our values? We will get the opportunity to consider that. Are we moving forward, or are we moving backward? This ministry is 38 years old. And as individuals, those of you who have crossed over the 40 threshold probably took time in your late 30s to say, whoa, 40 is just around the corner. And there is something about those 10 numbers when they are looming at you. We typically become more reflective. Oh, I thought I'd be farther along by this time. Oh, I thought I'd have my you-know-what together. Oh my. Because we come into this place of awareness that to continue on the path of whatever behavior we are currently doing, it's not going to get us to our goal, our mission, our vision. We come to recognize that, oops, the childhood is over. And so it is time for us as a community to stop our childish ways and to grow up into being about our Father's business. Michael. Amen. Thank you. Yes, being about our Father's business, living our mission, living our vision, living our values every single day. In this community and outside of this community, in our families, in our workplaces, in the Publix grocery store. Oh my God, the Walmart parking lot. It is time for us to heal and evolve. We must transcend and include all of the life lessons that have come before us, both as individual and as community, so that we can learn from those lessons and not recreate them. We've lived them once already. We don't need to do it again. We are awakening. We are transcending. And so whether you choose to come from your lowest vibration or your highest spiritual self, you affect everything around you. And so you get to choose. What will you do with what you see in the mirror? We are called to be our highest selves because we are the ones who have everything we need to be our highest self. So I'd like for you to affirm once more. I am the one I've been waiting for. Together. I am the one I've been waiting for. Oh, you could do a little more oomph there. Ready? I am the one I am waiting for. Yes. All right. Blessings to you all. Namaste.